It's been a while since I've filmed something in my car, and I'm actually heading down to Waterloo today for the Waterloo Video Game Swap. So we'll see what I can find there. I mean, apparently there's 90 vendors, and my guess is there's going to be a shitload of people. I've been to this thing probably about 5 years ago, and at the time I think there's maybe 20 vendors, so it's definitely expanded since the last time I went. So anyways, I will give you fair warning, my negotiation skills suck. So either I'll come back with a bunch of stuff that I overpaid for, or I'll come back with nothing because I try new negotiation skills and they fail. So we'll see what happens. I'm actually heading down to Canaan Retro's place to pick him up, and we're gonna head down together.
I know it's not around. They changed some of the things. Not that
And of course, they're all gigantic. Try, man.
So then we have 2 games.
That's just external. I can restart it if you want.
Alright, so here is my experience with Canadian Retro to the Waterloo Video Game Swap. Basically started the day with me loading my car with a bunch of games. I wasn't planning on bringing a bunch of games with me, but after seeing Canadian Retro's past video, I saw he was bringing a bunch of stuff and setting up trades and all that. I decided, you know what, why not? I'll bring some games with me, and if people are interested in them, fine. If not, that's cool too. So anyways, yeah, drove down to Canadian Retro's place, picked them up, and we were off. Waterloo's about 40 to 50 minutes driving distance away from where we live. And during that time, we got a chance to actually get to know each other on a kind of a personal level, more so than hey, great pickups and all that kind of stuff. And that was a good time. We actually got there an hour and 15 minutes before the convention actually opened. So we had more time to just chit chat. Around 11:30 though, we stood in line and saw first guy that came up to Canadian Retro was Gamer McMurdo, and they were chatting for a bit, and then Canadian Retro introduced me, and I comment on his videos a lot of times too, so he obviously recognized my name. After that, CGR came in, and he was standing in line, and didn't get a chance to say hi to him at that point, but we met up later, and we're chatting a bit. After CGR came in, Game Hunters RS came in. The two guys, Josh and Ben and Andrew, came in, and immediately went up to Canadian Retro and said, "Hey, how's it going?" And then looked at me and go, "Hey, you must be Longshot." And just on a side note there, if you actually, I don't know if any of you guys are actually interested in what I look like, but if you're really that curious, go to Game Hunters RS. Their video about the Waterloo Video Game Swap, you can see me when they first saw me there. I don't know why you'd be that curious, but if you actually do, that's where you can see me. So anyways, the convention started up, and Canadian Retro and I kind of split up and went our own ways, and we kind of gave each other short lists of what we wanted to find while we were there. And if we found it, we'd pick it up and try and get a really good price. If not, that was cool too. I did a whole lap around the convention hall before I actually bought something, and the reason being is I wanted to see what all the vendors had and kind of get an idea of what I actually wanted, because even though I gave Canadian Retro a short list of what I was looking for, I really didn't go there thinking, okay, I want this and this is what I'm getting, and I don't care how much it costs. It's just, so I kind of had a feel for how the pricing would be before I actually bought something. And after that, I started after I did my first lap anyways, I went around again, and I kind of had an idea of what I wanted, and if it was still there, then I would go ahead and pick it up. The very first two games I picked up off of one vendor. First one is X-Men 2 on the Genesis. This has a price tag of $20. Also at the same vendor was a copy of Tailspin. You may have seen I picked this up pretty recently. I actually enjoyed it, so I wanted to get it complete in box. And I was looking on eBay at buying an insert and a manual, and I figured, you know what, I'll drop the $10 here and just kind of get it complete, and then I can sell off the one I have. Just because the prices of manuals and inserts are just ridiculous. Sometimes it's even just better just to buy the game all over again if you really do like it. So anyways, the vendor had this Tailspin for $10 and X-Men 2 for $20. I talked him down to $25. I gave you guys fair warning, I'm not that good at negotiating, so yeah, $25. I think it's still a good deal though. Next, I went to another vendor that had a bunch of Sega Master System games, and I saw Gangster Town there, and I actually picked up, I don't remember what game it was, but it had a Gangster Town manual in the case instead of the actual manual that was supposed to be in there. So I didn't even know this game existed before I saw that manual in that game I bought. And, I did a little bit of looking around and it kind of piques my interest. So when I saw it for $6, I took a look, and I offered the guy 5, and he took it. Obviously, I mean, it's a buck, right? So yeah, I got Gangster Town on the Sega Master System for $5. And on a side note, Josh from Game Hunters R Us may be interested in this game, because this is actually a light gun shooter, and I know he picked up a lot of light gun shooters while he was there. But if you want to see what he's got, go over to his video and check it out. I will say though that I am really jealous of one of his pickups, and it's a light gun game. So next, I was walking around and I saw Vagrant Story, and this has been on my list for a couple of years of games I wanted to pick up. And my main reason for going to this convention is I want to get stuff that I could not get at thrift stores, and I don't want to pay an arm and a leg at a pawn shop or a video game store. And so that was kind of what I was doing. My No Tailspin isn't really worth that much, but Vagrant Story is a little bit harder to find. And strange side note here is, I think I got Vagrant Story at the same vendor I got Tailspin and X-Men 2 from. So all the vendors there had it priced at $40, except this guy. And this guy had it for $30. I offered $25, and he jumped at it. He said, "Yep, done." And I'm happy to add this to my collection, because like I said, it was on my list of games to get for a number of years now, and I just haven't had a chance to see it and find it at a good price. So it's now mine. After that, it really got hot and stuffy at that point, and I met up with Canaan Retro, and he was at a vendor who he was talking to, and I guess this guy had recognized Canaan Retro, and I think he recognized CJR as well. And you know, I came up to Canaan Retro and was like, "Hey, what's going on, man? What'd you find?" and all that. And next thing I know, Canaan Retro is introducing me to the guy and goes, "Oh, this is Longshot," and the guy knew me, and I was surprised. So I mean, it was great to meet that guy. I unfortunately don't remember his YouTube name, and I'm not sure if he leaves comments or not, but definitely a great guy. And I know at the time he cut Canadian Retro a great deal on a game, and he did cut me one later on in the day as well. But that's kind of another story to itself. So anyways, we were in the parking lot. We met up with Game Hunters R Us again, and a bunch of other YouTubers, and Canadian Retro was doing a bunch of trading and selling games and all that. And he kind of looked at me and goes, "Oh, by the way, Josh has a Sega Saturn in his bag." And I looked at him and I go, "Really?" Because I've been looking for a Saturn for a while, and I can't find one. I've never seen one in a thrift store. I could obviously get one on eBay, but I don't want to spend the money on eBay. So Josh and I would start talking, and I asked him how much he wanted for it. He asked me what I wanted to pay, and it kind of got to that awkward, well, who goes first, right? So eventually I said, "Well, what do you want to get out of it?" And he threw me out a number, and I didn't hesitate. His number was more than fair, and I'm not going to share that number with everyone just because it's between him and I and all the other guys that were in the parking lot. But just know that he did give me a great deal, and I did pick up that Sega Saturn. So I have a new system in my collection, and it came with all the cables, one third-party controller, which really isn't that big a deal because I have a first-party controller as well. And it came with Daytona USA, so I have something to play. I think the next convention's in September. I think that's what I'll be going for, Sega Saturn games, next time I go down. And that's what I'll be going for. So, anyways, yeah, Sega Saturn now in my collection, and happy to have it. After a while, we went back inside, and I saw Wild Arms 2 at a couple vendors, and this one guy was saying, "Oh, I'll cut you a deal if you're interested, and just let me know." And he had this priced at $20, and I mean, I thought that was a good price because I know the game store at my place sells these for like $30, $35, and so I said, okay, I'll do 20 if you can toss in Shinobi, which is obviously a cheap game, but it was one I was actually looking at, and I know this game is supposed to be good, but it's supposed to be really really hard. So it's kind of like one of those Ninja Gaiden games. So I got the two here for 20 bucks. We then Canaan Retro. Canaan Retro and I we were making laps. We missed I don't even know how many miles we must have walked, but we walked around that place from start to finish. And we went back to the vendor that recognized Canaan Retro, and he basically had a bunch of stuff out. And the reason I was looking at this, I was kind of looking at this Wario Land Super Mario Land 3 box. There's no game in it, and I'm just kind of standing there like, do I have this game? I know I have some kind of Wario Land game on the Game Boy. I wasn't sure which one it was. That kind of leads me into a tip. When you're going to something like this convention, or just in general, make yourself a spreadsheet of what you have, because you never know what you're going to find. People were selling manuals. Obviously they were selling boxes and manuals as well. And if you actually want to complete a game, you got to know what you have. And in my case, I have just under 1,200 games. I'm not going to remember everything I have and what I'm missing and all that. So I keep a spreadsheet. And Canaan Retro and him were talking, and I said, hold on a second, let me check my spreadsheet here. And it turns out I do have the game. And now I have Wario Land complete on the Game Boy. He wanted $10 for the box and manual, but because he watches my channel, I guess, and I know he watches Canaan Retro, he said, I'll cut you guys a deal. And Canaan Retro got the deal earlier, and then later on in the day, we went back and he cut me a deal on this. And great guy again. If you comment below, definitely I can give you a shout out in the next video. But he gave me the box and manual for $5, and I was more than happy to do that because, especially on like Game Boys and all these cardboard box ones, if you add a box to your game, it increases the value so much, and on top of that, it makes it look nicer in your collection. So I'm very grateful he did that, and the box is in pretty much mint condition, so I'm very happy with it. After that, we were actually Canaan Retro and I we were kind of done buying stuff for the most part, and we were walking around the vendors, and we were really giving vendors hard times on their prices. We were really laying into them. For example, one of the vendors had Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, I believe. It's either Devil Summoner or Devil Survivor on the PS2. I don't remember which one it is. And I was asking because I like the Shin Megami Tensei games, and I do need some of them still. So if you had it at a good price, I would have picked it up. But I know what it goes for on eBay. And a guy basically said, because it was sealed, he goes, I want $100 for it. And I looked him straight in the eye, and I said, I can get it online for 20. And he goes, really? I go, yep. He goes, sealed? I go, yep. And we basically walked away after that. Another example was Canaan Retro and I went to another vendor, and I was looking at getting a Super Metroid complete in box, mint condition, and the guy wanted $110 for it. And this was going to be the big purchase of the day. If we got on top of the Sega Saturn, this was going to be the big purchase. And at the end of the day, I said, let's walk around. We'll give him, till the 15-20 minutes left in the show, and we'll go back and drop him a number and see if he takes it. So it went there, and I offered him $90, and the guy looked at me and said no. So he doesn't want $90. I mean, that's fine, but that's what it goes for. And then Canaan Retro looked at maybe bundling something with me, and he's looking at Super Smash TV, I think, on the SNES, and it's cart only, and he wanted $20 for it. And the guy looked at both of us. He goes, what? If you want both together, I'll do $135, which is basically $5 off the price. And so it saves us $2.50 a piece. You know, whoop-de-doo, right? So anyways, needless to say, I walked away from that deal, and I'm still on the hunt for a Super Metroid. And, you know, one day I'll come across it. I'm going to be patient, and it's been on my list for a while, but, you know, like I said, I'll come across it at some point. So anyways, we went to another vendor, and we did the same thing. Canaan Retro. I picked up actually this first. I was looking at Parasite Eve 2, and the guy wanted $40 for it. And I know, again, my game store by my place sells it for $30. So, you know, I'm not going to drop $40 on it. But Canadian Retro was looking around, and he found 2 games to go kind of along with it to get like a bigger bundle. And the guy was like, you know what, I'm willing to negotiate. And, you know, he kind of looked at me and said, you know, I'll do 30 on Parasite Eve 2. And the 2 games that Canadian Retro were looking at, he said, I think they came up to $40 a piece as well. And he goes to Canadian Retro and says, you know, I'll do 30 on yours as well. And Canadian Retro goes, well, what if we bundle it all together? And he goes, you know, I'll do 50 then for all 3 games. So it ends up being 25 a piece. So Parasite Eve 2 for $25. It's basically what it goes for, a little bit under, but it's another one of those games I've been looking for a while, and it's getting harder to find. So after that, very last deal of the day. This was kind of like 5 minutes left in the show. I had $5 in my pocket, and I was really looking at these Midway Arcade Treasure games. And this one vendor had all 3, and I couldn't remember which one I had, but I knew I didn't have Arcade Treasures 1. So I took a look at the games at the back, and this is the one I wanted to get. So offered the vendor 5. I think he had it priced for $6. So offered him 5, and obviously he took it. And the reason I picked this up was actually for Smash TV. That's another game I've been looking for a while. I've been looking for Smash TV on the NES and Super Smash TV on the Genesis. And haven't come across it, but you know what? I picked this up for now. This will hold me over. It has I think it says it over 20 games on here, and you know, it has a solid title, solid number of titles, and the games on here are actually really good as well. So you got like Smash TV, Paperboy, Rampage, I believe Rampart is on here as well, Joust, Super Sprint, Marble Madness, Spy Hunter, and the list goes on. So for $5, I'm obviously going to jump on this compilation disc. So yeah, that was the last one of the day. So yeah, here's the pickups, and I think I did pretty well for myself considering. After the show, Kane Retro, myself, and the guys from Game Hunters or Us, we went out into the parking lot just after 5, and we were just chatting for like another hour, shooting the shit about pretty much all kinds of different things, and really getting to know each other, and just kind of, you know, getting to know each other, I guess, outside of YouTube. And I mean, they're all great guys. Kane Retro, all the guys I met today, I think all of them were really cool. Kane Retro, like I said, Game Hunters or CGR was really nice. Gamer Matt Murdo was nice as well. He didn't stay very long, but he definitely had a game plan. So anyways, those are the pickups from the Waterloo Video Game Swap, and my plan is to go to the next one, which is in September. You know, plans change, but right now I'm planning on going down. So if you guys are going down, definitely let myself know or Canadian Retro know, and we definitely schedule some kind of meetup and you know, kind of chit chat like we were all doing last time. So anyways, I'll stop babbling on here and let you guys go. So till next time, take care.